change the place and frequency, I start to get the feeling like it's time for me to be moving, and that's how I know to move. Without that, I don't really know how. Just all of a sudden, I start to feel like kind of uncomfortable and like agitated in some way, like kind of bored. Like, well, this is fun, but kind of desire some new kind of stimuli. I mean, yeah, I mean it's perfect. I mean, I've rested in moments literally forever, so it's like I guess I could sit here forever, waste away and die, and never eat again, and never drink again, never do anything else again. But I'll probably go to the store and get something to eat, and I guess I could wait for somebody to bring me something to eat, and eventually they would. But I could also just get up and go to the store. And as it turns out, I really like walking, and I like talking, and I like doing all kinds of stuff, stalking through the bushes in the middle of the night like a creeper. I like to move in all kinds of ways. No, I only go stealthily through the woods when I'm afraid. When I'm afraid of being seen, like I think somebody wants to hurt me or something, then I'm all, like more like a cat, like watching, observing, like they're not gonna see me, and then I'm gonna pass on by them. And I could still do that. That's possible for my chord shape and frequency, to where I'd be like, oh, I don't know about this. Maybe I'll go around this way. Whatever's the easiest thing for me is what I tend to do. If I don't want to talk to somebody, then I see somebody's there I would have to talk to, I might turn around and go somewhere else. Who knows? I'd be like, well, not today. But if I feel like it's really limiting the place in which I need to go, then I'll just walk right through that thing and be like, hey guys, I don't want to talk to you. I love you. Bye. And I would maybe say exactly that. Who knows? It's whatever it is. Most authentically in the moment, coming into greater and greater focuses of this, confidences of this. It's been really difficult to get to this point, but thank you to Ray, being able to have such a clear mirror for so long. It's been really amazing, really grounding and structuring. I mean, I already grounded myself and became self-sustained without the need for this, and then it just came and decided to build me up even more. I was like, oh, you're standing without legs? Well, here's 4 of them. Whoa, hey, what the heck? Hey, dang, all right, this is nice. This feels good. Now we'll take away the legs. Oh, good, I was already good, so no deal. All right, now here's 20 legs. Hey, now here's no legs. Well, I was already standing as good as 20 legs. Here's 100 legs. Oh, man, I stand as good as 100 legs. This is crazy. So it's wonderful to get your pure reflection from knowing yourself so wonderfully, being specific with your journey, being able to really bring in things that are meant for you that way, finding out what is your authentic desire, the beginning of the path. Motion's really helpful, all kinds of things are really helpful, and for me, medicine ceremony was the most helpful in a giant way. My focus as well, I went to all kinds of things. Really, it's like, what's the best, most thing? Well, all of the things that happened in the journey, aside from medicine ceremony, brought upon the narration to those possible learnings, and really brought the sturdying to the acceleration of that growth. So it was everything seen and not seen, every book read, every book not read, every person ignored, everything done and not done, all of the things entirely that occurred. The man that yelled, the man that didn't, the look on the person's face like this that caused me to judge myself in that way and move in this way, and all the different things entirely that brought context to the journey so amazingly. So, anything anybody's doing is exactly the right thing. It's kind of interesting to try to guide anybody, more just like trying to help them, bring them into the awareness maybe of like, hey dude, you're good. Love you. Love you. You're doing the best right now. You're perfect as fuck. You're the best in the world. You are doing the best. You have always been the best. You'll always be the best. I love you, bro. You're perfect right now. Enlightened right now. You don't have to do anything to make that shit happen. No, you don't have to change your diet. No, you don't got to quit that. No, you don't got to do that. No, you don't have to leave your family. No, you don't do that. You are enlightened right now as you are. And you don't even have to be doing that. Like, people are so perfect already, there's no reason for them to do that. Like, you don't have to go around like, hey bro, you're a light man, you're a light man, You're enlightenment. Oh, like fucking wearing yourself down, like, oh God, I just want them all to know that they're enlightened already. But they're enlightened already, so don't worry about it. Already good. They're good to go. They're victorious. They're doing great. Perfect. Look at them. Wow. You're like, no, it's not because of this. Well, that's silly. All right. Well, that was judgment. Okay. You decided that this was perfect only if it looked like that. Oh, okay. Well, that's why it doesn't look perfect when it looks like that. But as it turns out, it's perfect no matter the way it looks. Everybody's perfect just as they are, no matter what. The whole of it is. And so there's ways to come into this pure awareness. You know, there's ways to come into that realm of focus. There's ways to bring ourselves to these places quite easily as well through the process of surrender with our medicine teachers, through the process of surrender to life entirely, to what you perceive to be God or source or whatever it is, the creator of reality or whatever's going on. You know, this rock in front of me, if you think that's the God of us all, you know. Whatever you come to surrender to lead you. I don't know if that rock will actually end up leading you, but eventually that'll lead you to something, that surrender. It is possible that that rock begins speaking to you. You know, all kinds of things are possible as it turns out. Authentically, it could speak to you, and also you could create the speaking of it with the projections of your mind illusorily. But also you could be very much projecting your own wise subconscious onto the rock, and it could be giving you very, very good information actually. But it could even tell you premonitions or future truths, and it could be amazing. You guys could create a whole temple around this rock, probably. And it is quite the beautiful rock as well. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be unnecessary. It's quite the sacred object. It's quite as equal to the Buddha as you and I, and well, the blade of grass over there, the bug in the sky, and just everything from low to high. And that's the most amazing thing to understand in such a way, equanimity. Like the Tibetan Buddhists or any Buddhist philosophy, things that preach of the most amazing phenomenal synchronicities within the whole reality. And also me, I guess, and many other ascended masters that pointed at it, and their words were transmitted to be this way or that way or this way or that way. But that would again be up to the student. It's their fault for misleading themselves, and they just need to figure out why they wanted to mislead themselves, probably for some selfish gain. They didn't like that it said this part, they liked that it said these parts because that lined up with their desires, and they're like, okay, well, we'll take the parts that line up with our desires, we'll throw away the other parts. But, you know, it's the entire thing that matters. It's the literalness of it. So Shogum Trungpa Rinpoche told everybody everything was a mirror. And people were like, you know, whatever that means, you know. But, no, he means quite literally, and, you know, like the mirror on your wall. But, you know, it's tough to see it that way. So realization would be quite helpful to bringing ourselves into the awareness of that experience. Right now I'm getting myself prepared for movement, you know. Kind of sitting up, smoking a little bud. I think we're going to go over to Basha's, charge this charger, see if it gets up to 100% this time, maybe. Yeah. Maybe it will. Maybe it just needed a little kickstart. We'll run it out all the way, though. It wasn't run out all the way last time. Maybe if we run it out all the way, it'll charge all the way. We won't have to go all the way back to Walmart and return it, which would be great because I'm really getting tired of taking the bus over to Cottonwood. Or, you know, actually it was cool. We got a ride last time. We got a ride right from where we were. We didn't have to move at all from where we were, even though we knew we had to go. But we didn't have to move. We just got a ride right from there with this amazing woman, Sammy, who gave us all kinds of wonderful teachings and channelings, completely in alignment with the synchronicity of what we were going through in that day, and in that way, and we were able to uplift one another in a really amazing manner. And she brought us to Walmart to get food and the electronics that we needed. We couldn't charge them though, so we had to wait till now to start the videos. And then she brought us out to a BLM where we had ceremony and a fire, and there was wood there for us. And then we were able to collect more wood and leave it for the next people. I thought we were going to have the wood for ourselves, but I guess we collected it for somebody else. Fine. No, but it's really beautiful. We had marshmallows. We had hot chocolate with marshmallows in them. It was so good. Oh my goodness. But way more efficient to have tiny marshmallows so that you can just like pour them right in instead of like rip apart the big ones. And I had to use my mouth to do it eventually. It was way easier because when you rip them apart with your hands, they stick to your fingers and you can't get them off. And so if you use your saliva, they don't stick to your fingers and you can throw them right in. I mean, but they might if you get them too slick. So it just, it's a quickness. So you get the hang of it if you're doing it. But I recommend just getting the tiny marshmallows, as that makes way more sense. If you see, I'm going to sport a lot of ideas. You might think I'm working for the tiny marshmallow people right now, but as it turns out, I just promote things that I love. That's why I can promote consciousness and unconditional love for all beings everywhere without one exception, because I believe in that shit. Just like I believe in marshmallows that are tiny and fit in your cup efficiently so that you don't have to rip apart giant marshmallows in a way that takes too much time and kind of seems like a hassle and makes you wish you just to eat your hot chocolate. Not only that, but it's a lot of time, and your hot chocolate's going to go cold before you're able to do it for every bite that you have. So you just got to put a little bit of marshmallows, you drink it, it melts real quick, you get the marshmallow cream, then you put a little bit more marshmallows, you drink it, get some marshmallow cream, a little bit more marshmallow, until it's done, obviously, until it's done. Who doesn't want? I mean, when you first taste that amazing marshmallow goodness with your hot chocolate, like, does every taste that you have after that seem like a little less? I mean, I know that we're talking about not having preference here, but in the moment that you're in, if you have a choice, I mean, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose the drink that you want, kinda, or like the drink that you really want. See, for me, I'm into the drink that I really want. I mean, I can have the kind of drink, and I'll totally feel grateful and completely successful and happy with, the drink that I can have. But if I could have, like, a marshmallow sip that feels like the first time I sipped marshmallows with my grandpa in a train car that was a diner when I was a kid, that's what I want right there. I'm like, man, this feels like the greatest drink of life I've ever had, because it relates to that. We didn't have a lot of hot chocolate with marshmallows when we were kids, or hot chocolate. When we went to grandpa, the very few times we ever did, this was one of the things that happened one time. Anyways, and now it's obvious to anybody who's ever drank this drink in a way that had no judgment for it, it's amazing. And now that we have vegan marshmallows, there's almost nobody who can be happy about this drink. But I'm not drinking vegan marshmallows. I'm drinking regular, Jiffy brand marshmallows and Swiss Miss hot chocolate mix, which I have to say is freaking delicious. I had some hot cocoa mix from Natural Grocers over here, and I think they're missing the hot chocolate part of hot chocolate, where it like tastes fucking good. Because I'm not trying to drink cacao right now. I guess I would get cacao. I don't know. I'm looking for like hot chocolate right now. And it said there was dairy in it, so it's not like it's just cacao by itself. It's dairy chocolate. But I don't know. There's no flavor going. It's like a bitter chocolate. That's nice. I guess that's good for people that don't like sugary sweet things that taste delicious. But for me, I like sugary sweet things that taste delicious. And some people do believe the bitters taste good, and I think that's great. If I was looking for a bitter flavor, then I would be, all about that. But I was looking for a hot chocolatey sweet flavor, and so for me, it's always a quick, easy commonality to just go to Swiss Miss, who hopefully is a fair trade chocolate at this time. We're gonna look for that. Jeez, I definitely am not looking to promote slavery in the world, but I also don't wish to promote slavery to all of consciousness through the perpetuation of judgment on any part of it. So it's kind of nice, I guess, even if it is, that I wouldn't judge it and that I would allow it to be perfect as everything is. As this 122111 is telling me on this amazing tobacco package. Yeah, is there another one right there on my marijuana big? Nah, you can't see anything there. All we got going on is a 2552. Oh, nobody thought it was going to be a palindrome. That's the only way 25 would have looked perfect to me, unless I would have looked at it as gold, which is 25, 25, 25. What is that, you mean? 25 protons, 25 neutrons, 25 electrons. And it is always these three. So it has 75 pure born mother electrons, or electrons that are still stable and with their mother atom, and they will never leave their mother atom. That's why it's such a pure substance that always never tarnishes, because it will always have all of its gold, electrons, protons, and neutrons within the same atom in which they begat themselves. And they will stay there resting, just all happy and loving, stable as fuck, gorgeously gold shining. Anyways, so gold in a way is like the perfect element. So in some way, that could be looked at as like extreme perfection as well. But, I wasn't going to overreach for that. So to see the 52 after it was like, yeah! But I was still going to express that before I saw the 52. So that's why it come up, All right. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on right over here. A lot of build up. It's good to move the body, Also, my shoulders all leaning forward and shit. Also holding the big ass backpack, carrying it around, having to sleep on the hard ass ground on my shoulder like this, because like sleeping like this doesn't feel comfortable with the way we share this 0-degree sleeping bag and shit. But that's okay, I really do trust that consciousness has moved me to a place of grace by showing me that I already am constantly always within that. And I really do know that, so, I just trust constantly the moment and don't have to control it. But, I do feel like it is time to continue our motion. So, luckily for us, we have not really unpacked too much stuff, so it'll be kind of easy. There's some shoes here that we left here a while ago. I guess they're just going to hang out here. Nobody's going to take them from this spot. They are nice. Real nice. She might take them from the spot. She's just thinking about it. There might be spiders and shit in there now. Now we're swearing in our southern accent time. It's good, everything changes when movement begins. Yeah, when we talk about spiders and being strong, we bring out our southern accent along. I don't know, I like to rhyme right now. Is it nice? Do they fit?
They're a little bit tight. I'm sure they get looser.
I don't know. Oh, I'm hurting my wrist right now. Maybe because I'm holding this. Oh, man. I haven't been holding it this whole time until now. Well, in a way I was before, but it was like in a seated, rested position, and so this one was more like this, and so it's this angle right here that kinks it. I don't know if that will forever be the case, or maybe just because I haven't been in my practice for long durations, and so I'm not as strong as normally I would be, but we'll find out what's going on with that when, as experience rises, I'll be able to share more on this observation. This is one of the observations that are still in a learning phase for myself. I'm still learning and growing as well, but I am at a rate of learning and growing to where I can share a lot of my experience, and it may be very beneficial for the integration of these types of frequencies and realities, allowing me to oscillate to even higher frequencies and identity with the whole of the truth of consciousness, and being able to bring in then even more amazing synchronistic tones as we go. Thanks for this. Thanks for everything in the flow. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to put this down. Woo! Alright. Alright, we stood up a little quick. So we're just going to narrate the entire journey of this. Gotta stretch nice, Has me stretch in a funny way, but I just follow it through and it does its thing and it feels good and we have tension points and yeah, it's not too bad, and I just make sure I follow with it right in the right way. This is actually a really hard one for me to continue talking while I do this, but I do believe that it's meant for me to keep doing that, so I just am doing it, but I would watch to make sure. It's like, oh man, am I meant to be talking? I don't know. So yeah, I think it's okay. It's not a problem to keep talking. Yeah. Oof. to stretch out, feel, really allow my body to kind of move itself into a positioning on its own, structuring itself in its own way. It comes to its own posturing of straightness on its own. I feel the back releasing itself on its own, the neck releasing itself on its own, all of the movements of the body. Just kind of rolling with the feeling of path of least resistance with them, and so that's really beautiful. And feeling all of the things, having time and patience, not making oneself stretch in some way. My left arm wants to go all the way out to the left and stretch all the way out, but it hasn't been doing that, and that's reflective of something in the process of the opening of the body. And just kind of molding more easily with the moment, allowing it to stretch and unfold all of the different things kind of in a nice easy way. Anytime you feel the tension, you don't go towards the tension, you go towards the path around that tension or even away from that tension, however it may be. That brings oneself really easily into focusing, brings the feet really easily into opening. It does take a patience because some of the motions kind of seem mundane or repetitive, kind of redundant. Like, okay, I've done this motion for a while. What's the point in doing this motion? What's the reason for doing this motion? What's the purpose for doing this motion? What could it be doing for me in any way? What could it be doing for me or anything? I don't know why I would be doing this or why I would be doing that or why I would be moving like this or why I would be moving like that, or what's taking it so long. Can't it just be done? Can't my body move itself in the way I wish it to already just the moment I begin? And yeah, maybe that will be happening in the future of beginning to learn to move at the moment. Maybe you will move in a faster way or whatever it is, and that won't cause you to have to bounce around in all kinds of manners. Or maybe you'll hold yourself constantly in flexible positions to where you no longer have to wait to be flexible, or however it may be. Maybe you'll find that every time that this happens, it's so perfect that there's no reason to guide it anymore because it continuously keeps you on perfect timing with everything. I mean, I would hurt my foot before and I would be able to stop and have a huge empowerment and activation with a friend that was going to be previously impossible unless I had hurt my foot to the degree in which I hurt it to stop me directly in front of that person, luckily. So that's a really wonderful thing. Right now, it's my right ankle on the left side that I'm waiting for. And it seems like the rest of the body really opened itself up quite easily, but that piece of myself hasn't done it. So as I've been sitting here doing this more and more and more and more, I've been seeing that the voice and the body are actually coming in tune with each other while I'm doing this. And so this was actually not something I was previously noticing. I thought the words were maybe not supposed to be here with it, but as it turns out, these words are actually really with it, and they're actually moving with the entirety of the body and the motion of the body. So the reason the body's moving like this is because the words are moving like this. The reason the words are moving like this is because the body is moving like this. It's very difficult to tell which one precurses the other. I guess because the voice is led by the heart and by the breath itself, I would say that it comes first. But then again, then I notice, oh wait, so is the body. Oh, well, okay, but which one goes before the other, the breath or the heart or this or that? It seems as if they all occur pretty simultaneous, so. It's really interesting, really, to see all these different parts of reality. These were parts in which I was not knowing that I would be explaining, but I guess it makes sense then that the channel stayed open for this moment, and so we hit a different curvature than previously before. We never did keep the video open for this type of duration channel, and so now we can see that I actually explain everything to myself in a pretty large duration of time, but with a great amount of impeccability, that I understand what it is that's occurring for me presently at every moment that I happen to be with it. And that's something I like to transmit to other people, that they could see a different realm of perspective about how somebody may have been thinking in a curiously odd way, kind of insane manner, but that insane manner has really helped them guide themselves to a realm of focus that is very beneficial for themselves. So I started to get certain tension points and observations of what I was saying in myself. So right over here became a tension point, right in between the groin and the leg. Now that could be because I stopped moving my legs in a certain way with the motion of the body after it had begun its motion in a certain manner, and so it's creating tension and stagnation in a certain way. Or it could just be whatever else, just popping up just so that I could express it now in this moment to show that these things could be possible in those manners. And so this will bring us to a different realm and focus as to understanding what it is that's been occurring for me in my realm and reality through the realization in which I've been brought to be speaking on these videos in these ways with Miss Ray, Miss Caroline, and also kind of the things in which I'm bringing forth to show us what's here occurring within the realm of everything, kind of what's occurring for all of us in all kinds of ways. You could see it being experienced through me, and if you're coming to this realm of your journey, then you'll really be understanding this very unique teaching that's coming through me about the movement of the body, the trusting of the body, and then the precision of the body by being very aware with where you are currently without the need to guide to even the next future syllable structure. Because even with the body, with the breath, with the motion, with everything that you're doing, this can actually cause an interesting overlapping of flow to where now it's become a pinch point where this moment and this moment are happening simultaneous. And that's where you'll see me melding words together and stuff like that, where I'm able to see the two words coming afterwards, and so I then said two words together, and that's not too big a deal, but that's something to notice, is that pinching can happen in the movement of your flow. And if it happens in the movement of your flow, you can get back by letting go and then returning to where you are. By letting go, I mean letting go of your observation of it being like a mistake, and just allowing yourself to continue moving from whatever new syllable structure has created the new chord shape.